helpful. One of the things that I find that I always do when I'm reading manuscripts, and this very much goes back to my editorial or my marketing sensibility, is that when I finish reading something that I've liked, the very next question that shows up in my brain, not even like it's automatic at this point. It's not like I even have to stop and think about it. It's just my brain is trained that the next question is, who's it for? Like, you loved it, who's it for? And if I, and this was true as an editor, it's true as an agent in a little bit of different ways. If I don't know who it's for, who's the reader for that? Who's the first constituency that's going to fall in love with it in terms of publishing stuff? Is this a book that independent booksellers are going to get really behind and hand sell it to be a word of mouth sort of thing? Is this something that's it's got a plot that's going to mean it gets optioned to be a film really quickly and things start moving and people hear about it that way? Is it something that that librarians are going to get behind and it's going to potentially get awards, or it's going to be on state reading lists and that's how people are going to hear about it? But like, where is the starter audience for a book is a really important question. And if I can't answer that question, if it's, I liked the reading experience, but I can't understand who the audience for this would be, or if my feeling is there might be an audience, but it's a particularly small niche, then I probably don't have the right vision to be involved with that project. Because I think you owe a responsibility to have a book, a responsibility if you're going to acquire it or agent it, that you have a vision for it, you have a plan. It doesn't always mean that it works out. It doesn't always mean that the market agrees with you, but I don't want to go in all willy-nilly and be like, maybe this will work, I guess we'll try. Like, I want there to be more strategy to it than that. And so for me, that was an early experience of having that experience of, I know exactly who this book is for. And it was also sort of the rare experience of, this is a book for a lot of those constituencies all at the same time, all at the beginning. It's for the librarians at the same time that it's for the independent booksellers at the same time. It's for, your uncle who only reads 2 books a year, and that sense of audience, I think, is a really important one. As an editor, it was, how am I going to sell this book internally to my team, which in turn is going to be how they sell it externally. So part of your job as an editor is to, from the moment you bring a book into acquisition, sort of show the vision for it. And if it works, then the sales reps share that vision with the booksellers, and the booksellers share that with consumers. And like, that's how word of mouth spreads. Sometimes I do a presentation at writing conferences where I show projects where there are certain phrases from the query letter, if it's a strong query letter, that I use in my pitch to editors, that they use in their flat copy, that ends up in the hands of readers, because that vision has been so clear, even sometimes starting with the author themselves.
At the risk of seeing those phrases show up in every query you ever receive going forward, can you give us a couple of examples? Oh,
it's not like there's a set of magic words. It's just that the ideas have been encapsulated so well. Let's see. Darius the Great is Not Okay, which is a YA novel that I agent, that I represent, that came out last year. The flap copy, the first line here is, Darius Kellner speaks better Klingon than Farsi, and he knows more about Hobbit social cues than Persian ones. That is almost word for word identical to part of his pitch letter to me. And it just encapsulated it so clearly. So I put it in my pitch letter to editors, and his lucky editor, Dana, who acquired the book, recognized that she couldn't say it any better. And that's really what it boils down to, is sometimes there's something that the author says so well that no one else can say it better. And so it ends up, all the way into the hands of readers. Sometimes an author, I think, has a closeness to the project where they're describing a book very accurately, but they're not thinking with the lens of a consumer yet. They don't know how to think with the lens of a librarian. So sometimes the copy changes a lot. So it's not like, you know, you've done something extra special if it works this way. It's just interesting that sometimes they've captured it right from the beginning.
So when you get a book that you love, but you can't immediately answer that all-important question of who's it for, what's the plan to get it out in the world and make sure the audience finds it, how often do you take this book that you love and say, well, if we can make this change, and this change, maybe I have the answers to that question without destroying what it is you love about it initially?
Usually, if I don't have a sense at all of who the audience is for, it boils down to the fact that I'm not the right person to work on it. And I will put that in kindly worded rejection letters to authors that I don't have the vision to know what to do with this book. But I am one player in the publishing world, and there are as many of us as there are, you know, representative of different types of readers. So I think, you know, a question agents get asked a lot is like, oh, tell us about the one that got away, you know. But the truth of it is, like, the one that got away or the one that we turned down that's gone on to be a smash hit, a lot of the time would not have been the smash hit in our hands, because maybe we would have never thought to submit it to the editor that agent did, or we never would have thought to tease out that one layer of the story that was the thing that readers connected to so clearly. So, like, you know, it's like trying on an outfit. Like, some things just don't look good on you, but they look great on someone else. And so I think it's important to acknowledge that. You know, I want to work on projects that I see clearly that I can be a value add to them, and that I have a strategy and a vision that, of course, is going to change and get shaped by the market and all sorts of things over time, but that, like, there's a clear path in my mind to where we're trying to go and how we're going to get there. And if, you know, if I tried to take on something that I didn't have vision for, it would be like, well, I see the end that I want to get to, which is, you know, smash success, awards, lots of copies in the world, but I have no idea what roads to take to get me there. And the chances are strong that I might even try to take us down roads that don't work successfully.